What is up, everyone? Hello, welcome back to Corsace Closed 2024. We are back at it again with another matchup. I think one of the matchups that a lot of people are really excited for, the battle of the two Russian titans here at Corsace Closed. Last match was an absolute banger between Emrek and Worst HR player triumphing at the most important of times possible. Absolute banger, and I think we're going to be seeing another one here between Chicony and Skrowell. Two players who are so experienced in tournaments, but so different in their strengths, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this will turn out. I'm Sad Shiva, and I'm joined by the wonderful Miles.
Good morning, Shiva, and you are so right about that last match. I woke up, I looked at that MP link, and what the hell did I miss? I am so mad I slept through that. But yeah, I mean, another big matchup here, Chicony versus Skrowell, two Russian players who are going to be so familiar with each other's skill sets. So I think the pick-ban strategy for this matchup is going to be, I think, pretty hard to predict, because both of these players so familiar with each other could throw curveballs at each other, which is something that I'm really excited to see between these two.
Yeah, these guys have been World Cup teammates, and these guys have been around together for a very long time, played in loads of teams together in open rank tournaments. So it's one of those things where two homies who know exactly what they're gonna do are just gonna toughen it, firm it, and just battle it out. I can't wait for this. I think the dichotomy with this here at the moment is that Skrowell is very flexible, very well-rounded, and Chicony, despite being a superstar carry player generally in a lot of the World Cup tournaments and a lot of other open rank tournaments, does have a distinct strength that in a 1v1 tournament like this really is emphasized. Stuff like hard rock, stuff like double time, generally something that Skrowell is very scared of Chicony for. And on the other side with Chicony, I think Skrowell has a lot of choices, but I think Chicony's going to more be focusing on his weaknesses here. You know, stuff like the reading, stuff like the gimmick, and maybe stuff like the ulti sections that that Skrowell might be able to edge off just a little bit more. Outside of that, I think normal's going to be super contested. I think DT has a chance to be contested, but not likely. I'm just excited to see what goes down. These bans here so far, definitely very predictable.
Definitely agree with you there. I think a lot of the closer matchups are going to come in the bottom half of the map pool with the DTs and the hard rocks. I think their most notable skill set overlap being in the hard rock, both of them being extremely strong there. But then the hidden and nomads, I think, are going to be really contested, because neither of these players are going to be, I think, extremely comfortable on a lot of the nomads and the hiddens, but still both of which very capable. So well, looks like we've gone through the first ban phase. Nomad 5, or not Nomad 5, DT2 ban coming out from Skrowell, with a Nomad 6 ban coming out from Chicony, so a speed ban and a gimmick ban. And then the DT1 first pick going to be coming out from Chicony.
Yeah, DT1, Yukino Yoni, no surprises here. Merry Christmas, Miles. We already got a first bout coming in very quickly as well for both these guys. This one being very traditional double time one, I'd say. It does have a few essence of tapping here, and the spikes definitely do increase quite a bit during the key eyes and the ramp ups to the final section of the map. But yeah, outside of that, it's your pretty standard double time one, and Chicony is an absolute master at maps like this. But our Skrowell is definitely not doing too badly, struggling a lot of the accuracy, most likely from those speedier sections that require a bit more tapping. But so far, so good in the combo game for both these players. Chicony definitely the more comfortable player, holding on to a full combo past this first key eye so far.
Yeah, but the difference coming in the accuracy, 99.35% for Chicony up against a 95.22 for Skrowell, but both of them get through the first chorus, so they're going to have this bridge section to build up their combos even more. But as we reach the center section of the map, it's going to start to look really contingent on who breaks first, because, you know, when you miss in that middle section, the score gets capped at like 600k, and that's really going to hinder your score. And we're about to get into the next jump section before the second chorus, and that could really determine things, but both of them get through it.
Skrowell, though, struggling a little bit on Act there, dropping a few 100s. Safe to say that he's definitely the one who people are looking at to potentially break first, but he's really standing his ground at the moment. Still holding on solidly here. Chicony still looking good himself, 99.5 AC. It's just looking really close here. The combo game, it's all that's keeping Skrowell in this game so far. I think I might have just heard a Bancho miss, but no one actually dropping, it seems. Still looking good, and as we start to approach this double guitar solo section, this is where the difficulty really starts to hit a peak here, and this is where you're really hoping for one of those breaks to finally go through. Giant options come through with the sliders. Nobody drops. It is still both of them to hold on to the combos. Chicony might be winning on an ag battle here. Drops on the screen just before the final TI, and that might already have spelt the end. But what a fight did he give?
Skrowell trying his best. He had no issue with any of the aim in this map, but the streams, that one long stream at the end of the guitar solo getting the best of him, and Chicony, man, just running that 99% full combo into the ending. That is his bread and butter. This is what you love to see for Chicony. Getting a definitive 99% full combo, maybe on his first pick. As long as he doesn't choke at the end, it's going to be a masterful score from him.
Yeah, beautiful start for Chicony. Excellent performance on the ending of this map. He misses on the linear aim sections. A tragic choke, but nonetheless a great score from him. Skrowell, man, those 270 BPM bursts, especially with the nerves built up, knowing that combo's all you got in this. It's just a tragic miss towards the end and a little fall apart afterwards, but it doesn't really matter for Chicony. He's got the first map. And Skrowell now coming up next with his own pick. I think he's got quite a bit of options. Question is, what is he going to lean into? As that double time 1's been shut down now, you've got double time 3 open as a potential double time follow-up with the control in there. Not as speed heavy, so definitely more in Skrowell's play field. Or you can go into what Chicony has banned in Hidden 2. It's not Bestrafung. The UI has not fully updated yet. That Hidden 2 is actually Mitosis no Hanataba, which is a flow aim AR8 map. Very stream heavy.
Yeah, this map is absolutely brutal. We basically told El Cheer to make like a low star no mod 2, but with a little bit of aim control and make it AR8. So flow aim on AR8, one of the most RNG skill sets in the game, and Skrowell gonna opt into that on his first pick off of the Chicony reading ban. And we're gonna reload the overlay here. And the No Mod 6 ban is still not correct, but every other map now correct on this overlay.
Yep, and here we go. We're getting into it now. As mentioned before, I think both these players just immediately going into probably the most predictable parts just after their bans. They immediately know, all right, well, this guy's getting my reading, so I'm going to go reading. And that's what Skrowell's then into. This map has a lot of really brutal aim control sections on top of that. You know, really dangerous streams and floating that twist and turn into one another. And if you're not too comfortable in that reading, you're going to struggle immensely. But so far, so good past a little intro section. You still got quite a while of this map to go through, but Chicony looking solid in the combo game so far. Never mind, he drops. And that's the lead going to Skrowell first and foremost.
Yeah, I think where we're really going to see this map ramp up is once we get into some of the longer streams as we get further along in the map. Skrowell going to have no issue with the first quarter of the map. And he's going to start to build up that lead very quickly as Chicony has already found some of the breaks and act drops. But there goes Skrowell finding a couple misses of his own. Now accuracy lead back in favor of Chicony with the combo. So we're going to see how long he can hold on to that, because he's going to be pretty close to getting a lead here. But here comes the longer stream section. This is where the map gets really brutal, and Chicony gonna find the chain miss. As I mentioned, this is such a scary skill set to play and match. Skrowell is gonna be shredding through these streams though, and continuing to build up his lead based on the accuracy.
Those bus sliders as well, so hot, terrifyingly dangerous. You know, AR slapped on him with flow aim on top. Probably one of the most difficult and scariest skill sets to have with this approach rate. And despite Skrowell struggling alongside Chicony, it's safe to say that the comfort is in his favor. Not by an excelling margin, though. 37,000 score in Skrowell's favor. If Chicony is to build up potential combo by the final third of the map, there is potential for a flip here. But until then, Skrowell does have a good grip on the map so far. There's the break. Both players see what they are building onto. And with that stream coming through here, Skrowell goes down, but Chicony continues to hold. He might be able to build something here. It's closing down to 16, 15,000. Chicony might be able to take the lead by the final quarter.
But you know, we've got one more long stream section in this map where we saw both players find lots of chain misses. So the lead only being around 15k for Skrowell. He's going to need to survive through another one of the long stream sections. But right now, the map slowly building up. Nothing too difficult in this section. Chicony is going to get inching ever closer towards Skrowell's score, but there's a slider break for Chicony.
Banter. Yeah.
Okay, still live, but still going. Stream section.
This is so incredibly close. There's only 14,000 scores separating them. Skrowell is trailing him in the combo department. Chicony has to hold for the rest of the map, and we still got loads of streams come through. The hardest part of the map. Chicony, can you hold on towards the end? You've got the lead now, but you do drop. Traded by Skrowell, though. There's not a lot of combo left to go. There might be a chain miss that might lead to a flip, but so far it's Skrowell, the one who's breaking more, dropping more misses, and as the map just barely comes to a close, Chicony will pull off the clutch towards the end, hitting the patterns that matter the most, and does get the breakpoint in the pre-ban stage. This is an excellent point here for Chicony to execute earlier on into this match.
That is an absolutely brutal breakpoint to take if you're Skrowell. The reading ban from Chicony, you expect the other reading map to go so well, but it does not for Skrowell. And you know, we were discussing this before the match about how Chicony's strategy is really going to be more based on his strength, but Skrowell, his pick strategy could hinge more on some of Chicony's weaknesses, which was a map like this, but unfortunately for him, it just does not go this way, and Chicony clutches out the hidden 2. Definitely not something that you would expect a Chicony to win, but nonetheless, it is going to be that breakpoint, and now he gets the pick back in his ballpark with another DT remaining on the board with DT3 and another speed pick in Nomad 5 if he so chooses.
Yeah, that's the power struggle with this matchup for Skrowell, which was, I think, why some people are favoring Chicony to take this, is just generally the matchup where Chicony can just favor himself on his own strengths, whereas Skrowell, despite being able to rival him on some, especially at this level, not really able to match Chicony on as many skill sets as he'd want to, which is why he's relying a lot more on those weaknesses, like you mentioned before, to try and battle it out, but even then, Chicony's not having any of it. He manages to get that beautiful upset pick, and now Senseless Massacre, the Nomad 5, is going to be his next pick. This map is very heavy on that raw speed stamina. There isn't really much else that's complicated about it. It's pure raw speed, and for someone like Chicony, who's very experienced on this and very comfortable in something like this, I'm not surprised by this pick at all.
And, you know, we saw some scores on this earlier between Emmerich and Worst HR Player. Worst HR Player, I think, double tapping himself an FC on this, of which I say, I am sorry, speed players. But here we go between Skrowell and Chicony. Going to see if either of them opt into those cheese strats or if they are going to play it properly. It looks like both of them are going to be playing this one properly, at least for the beginning. Although you definitely expect Chicony to do that as one of the top speed tourney players in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Chicony, obviously the more comfortable player on paper on this. But this early stage so far looking good for Skrowell. But granted, this is early, all right? The aim requirement on this map isn't really that heavy. It's not that deep. You don't need a super extreme level of comfort to hit this early stages. We're more looking at that later half into the map, that second half where the stamina starts to really run dry just a little bit and accuracy starts to fall off a little bit here. So far, so good, though. Big difficulty ramp-up section to come through, and both players hitting it decently well so far. Chicony taking the lead in terms of the accuracy, which gives him that minor score lead, but it's still anyone's game. Combo still leans in the balance for both of these players. A giant breakdown from Skrowell, though, on the stream. Loses a ton of accuracy, then drops on a slider just afterwards, and that's going to lead to the combo reset, and Chicony is not missing any of that difficulty section. And as he's got a little bit of time to build up now, this combo might start to extend even farther out of Skrowell's reach.
Yeah, but Skrowell broke on the easier section of the map compared to the later stages. So his combo now is going to be extremely lacking compared to Chicony, still holding on to that 1k combo. Yeah, and that slider break 2 at the halfway point. Chicony, with that such high accuracy, going to look to already run away with this Nomad 5.
We're approaching that halfway mark now. Chicony still holds on to that full combo. Skrowell does have a little bit of hope. A tiny, tiny combo lead if Chicony is to break very, very soon. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case for now, unless Chicony just has a tragic blooper. As we pass that halfway mark, 98 accuracy still to Chicony's name. Combo game still massively in his favor. 1200 combo and gaining. Skrowell is trying to build something back, and respectively so. Still getting about 400 combo and climbing these stamina sections. Despite leading him to shake, he is holding on to a decent level on, not dropping too much accuracy. But it's just Chicony who just refuses to let this go. That big combo oppression here from Chicony is making this really difficult for Skrowell to come back from. And as we approach that final third, 270,000 score in Chicony's favor. Whether or not Chicony misses, I don't think will matter here, Miles. Skrowell, I don't think he has got enough time.
He definitely doesn't, especially not on Nomad with that low multiplier. It would take Chicony to drop a lot of accuracy along with the combo if Skrowell were to have a chance. And this is just not going to happen on a Nomad 5 with Chicony. This guy, his speed is
My
unreal,
lord.
especially as he gets through this section. He's now got only the long streams to go in this map, and that is something that Chicony is not going to find a break on. That guy, too good at this. We see Skrowell doing a little bit of mashing. So now it's all eyes on Chicony, 99%. Can he hold this with the full combo into the ending? His combo eclipsing 2K through the burst. He is shredding,
Chicony!
and he has made it through. What a score.
Skrowell as well, respectively, doing really good on this. I wouldn't have thought such a quiet section had such ridiculous patterns here. But it seems like both of these guys are holding on solidly. Chicony is just going to be settling with a full combo on this. And that is not his second full combo, but his second very impressive score for sure. This is an incredible display here from Chicony. 98.5 round accuracy in a map like this really says a lot. And Skrowell, despite putting up a decent effort, that axe struggle, including those couple tragic misses of discomfort, ends up leading to that loss. 1300 combo, though, definitely still admirable here for Skrowell. Just not enough when you're against an incredible speed player like Chicony on this.
But now Pick goes back into the ballpark of Skrowell. After taking the HD2 breakpoint, he's definitely going to need to convert a pick here. And I think the way that he should go is towards some of the tech maps remaining. I think a Nomad 4 or a Hidden 3 are probably going to be a good pick for Skrowell. And he does go for the Hidden 3, non-binarity. Going to be picked by Skrowell. This map is the finger control slider tech map that I think fits Skrowell's skill set a lot better than the Hidden 2 will.
Yeah, I agree. I think this leans a lot more into Skrowell's strengths in particular. I think he's very strong on that control-alt aspect, be it Nomad or Hidden. I think it's something that he definitely wants to prioritize, and just before the band stage to come through. Picking this is definitely solid. This map has a lot of polyrhythm, a lot of very dangerous control that you need to be really well practiced on, especially. It's quite sporadic and quite, spontaneous in its style. And that in turn leads to two things. One, big comfort on the Hidden, and two, understanding of the map, which can only be really reflected by good practice. So let's hope the Skrowell has that, so we can now shine Chicony on this, because losing on that Hidden 2 does not give too many good signs so far.
But I do think that this fits a little bit more into Skrowell's strength rather than him picking more into a weakness of his opponent. So I think we could expect a stronger score from Skrowell on a map like this. But it's going to take a little bit for this map to start to pick up. First few hundred combo going to be pretty easy until we get into one of the first finger control sections right here.
Yeah, you can see these jump patterns as well getting really random and really difficult. It starts to ramp up a lot in its BPM as well, so you got to be really prepared and in that fast pace. And unfortunately for Chicony, he's managed to slip up just a little bit, not able to hold on to that combo so far. Skrowell still has that full combo, good accuracy as well, for considering the difficulty of this map. And we're getting into a bit more of a flowy section now with that polyrhythm still being emphasized here. 1/3 into 1/6 into quants just everywhere on this. And Chicony finds a second drop, not looking good for him. And as we get into that super slidery ramp up, these sliders get really quick, very high BPM, a decently high velocity as well. Thankfully for Skrowell, though, he's absolutely popping off. This is insane from him. He's still holding on past his halfway mark. And a consistent barrage of difficult sections Skrowell refuses to fall to. He's still hitting this entire thing, and he might just finish it off. Incredible!
Skrowell! That is exactly what you need to do if you're Skrowell after losing that early breakpoint. Comboing a section like that has got to be great for your confidence. That is one of the hardest sections of this Hidden 3 down for Skrowell, and now he's going to be rewarded with a slow section to bring up that lead even more. And he's going to start to look as definitive as Chicony was on the last pick very shortly.
Yeah, this is solid stuff here from Skrowell. Making it clear that he's not to be messed with even 3 points down. And as this little build-up section comes through, like you said, Miles, this is going to reward him more and more. Make that lead even more difficult for Chicony to build. And as we get into the final core of the map here, it's up to Style now.
Yeah, it's all for the Style points now. He's got the last 1/8 of the map to contend with. But an FC on this would be absolutely ridiculous to get in the match. There's so many ridiculous sections in this map that you could just find breaks on randomly, but none of them have tripped up Skrowell so far. And he is looking so strong. Oh, he just reaches 700k before finding the break. The map starts to slow down now. But nonetheless, it is going to be a dominant performance from Skrowell. Over double the score of Chicony on this map. And he has got his response in the bank. And it is going to be a point on the board for Skrowell.
That is a powerful display of dominance on a map like this. Just that small pattern that spikes massively, leading to the drop from Skrowell. Outside of that, near perfection on this map. Hitting the hardest sections consistently back-to-back to 1200 combo on a map like this. Definitely really impressive. Nicely done from Skrowell. Safe to say, Chicony hasn't got a one-way cakewalk to go through now. And it's up to the ban stage to see whether or not those picks will reflect the bans here. What are you looking at here, Miles, for Skrowell to ban? Because I'm looking at a potential Hard Rock pick, or maybe even a... like an aim heavy pick, maybe? I don't know. Like I'm
looking at a Nomad 2 ban here from Skrowell,
yes,
because
I forgot Nomad 2.
That is the last very tapping heavy map in the pool, because the DT3 is going to be more of an alt focused, aim control focused map with a lot of cut streams, not necessarily something where Chicony can tapping abuse Skrowell. So getting that Nomad 2 out of the way. Oh, but it's going to be the DT3 ban for Skrowell. That is so unexpected, leaving up the Nomad 2. I mean, I guess it could just be a confidence thing because, 215 BPM stamina, maybe a lot better for Skrowell than some of the speedier maps in the pool. So it makes sense. And the Nomad 3 ban coming out from Chicony, also something that makes a lot of sense. That map a little more gimmicky compared to your average Nomad 3. Lots of finger control in that map. Lots of linear alt patterns that we saw a certain player do something crazy on last match. But maybe not very confident leaving that up here. But now pick... for Chicony still has the Nomad 2 remaining. I think he probably is going to go right on into that. Otherwise, maybe a Hard Rock. Oh, nope, but it is the Nomad 2 for Chicony. 215 BPM, Death Streams, Embraced by the Flame.
Yeah, the Japanese version of Embraced by the Flame, the cut version as well. So a little bit shorter than your usual, but still decently long. 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. 215 BPM, like mentioned. With Skrowell not choosing to ban, it's safe to say he sees a reality where he might be able to pinch a win off of this. And although you see these flowing patterns and the streams definitely getting a little bit on the stamina-heavy side, there's also a little bit of aim in this map as well, where Skrowell definitely seems to be the more comfortable, a more comfortable player, not the more comfortable player. Chicony definitely also very good on aim, but... seems to be something that he might be able to pounce on. So far, so good in the combo department, but accuracy is where we're seeing the division here, with Chicony holding on to about 98.7 accuracy and climbing. And a good effort here from Skrowell so far, still hitting those entire stream sections, just struggling just a little bit on the AC. But so far, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Skrowell's accuracy is higher than it was on any of Chicony's other picks. So that just shows a higher baseline confidence on this. And an act drop from Chicony. Now Skrowell actually going to be taking the lead before the first long stream section. But here comes the chorus. This is going to be that first definitive section where you're going to be expecting to see a break.
Look at the flow. I'm emphasizing this map as well. So much Axel, decel, and so much spacing emphasized on these streams. At this BPM, they are not to be messed with. And so far, both these guys hitting them solidly here. And the BPM stamina doesn't really seem to trip them up at all. It's all on the flow, and that could lead to it, but it won't be the case. Both of these guys holding on now. Accuracy nearly on the dead even side now. It's still neck and neck for both of these players. We're getting into the guitar solo section now, where stamina might lead to a bit more of a bigger hit. There's probably going to be a few more streams here that I'm expecting. Also some big jump sections too, like this one right here. Can anybody drop? Is anybody going to drop after the slider?
Oh,
yes,
Chicony
it's Chicony! His slider breaks just afterwards. I thought that slider might trip somebody up, and it will be indeed Chicony to be the one to fall here. Skrowell might be able to pounce with a beautiful breakpoint to start this off. The stream is so long, but it still is hit by him. The act may drop, but it won't matter. The combo still belongs to Skrowell, and the biggest stream still hits.
Oh, jumps! Can he hit the jumps? And he does!
Incredible!
Accuracy be damned, he's down by a couple percent, but still, as long as he keeps holding on to this FC, he's going to be ahead on this pick. He finds the drop on the start of the stream. The lead is not that big for Skrowell. He only compounded about 50,000 score of lead, and now Chicony, it's up to him to try and take it back with the accuracy and combo in tow. He's going to be able to do it very quickly. That score is going down so quickly, and Chicony is going to take the lead. He finds the break. Wait a minute. It's
oh my god, there's this neck and neck.
It's going to come down to the breaks.
It's going back and forth. There's a bunch of misses there from Chicony. Skrowell still has the lead by about 17,000. And the streamer's still being hit. Chicony with the chain miss. He's falling apart towards the end. And Skrowell might have just pounced it towards the end. So close there for Chicony. He was just moments away. But as it starts to build up, as the flame starts to hit a peak, Skrowell's the one to triumph. And that big combo saves him here. Skrowell, giant breakpoint there from him. And he's now going to give an opportunity for himself to now get another pick. And maybe even the scoreline.
The breakpoint flies right back on the Nomad 2, and that is why he left it unbanned. He knew he could combo through that guitar solo, and he gets right through it now, taking the breakpoint back. Scoreline goes 2-3, and now Skrowell with the next pick. He's got a tech map remaining in that Nomad 4 that I think he's going to look towards in order to even out the scoreline.
That was an amazing map, Miles.
Oh my god.
That was amazing.
Chicony was so close to bringing it back at the end. He had the accuracy, he had the combo, but he found the chain miss, and Skrowell was able to come out unscathed.
You saw moments while Skrowell was building that combo, he struggled just a little bit on the stamina, dropping loads of 50s. On one particular stream, the one that was really elongated for a good amount of time, made to test your stamina, and Skrowell managed to prevail excellently there. And I think that single moment where he managed to really push through his own stamina barriers led to that giant combo, which at the end of the day was a safety net for that returning onslaught for Chicony. And with that win, well earned from Skrowell for sure. It's up to him now to even out the playing field. What map is it going to be? You've got a few choices here. You've got the Nomad 4, and there it is. Wow, I didn't even have to really talk much. There you go. Nomad 4 is going to be picked next for Skrowell, and I'm not surprised about this one at all.
Yep, the tech player abusing that one strength really hard against Chicony. It worked out really well for him on the Hidden 3, so the Nomad 4, a very logical choice to make for that next pick in order to even it up with Chicony. These two Russian players tied at the hip. Such a close match so far.
Yeah, banger map after banger map. This one could be another example of how well versed both these guys are.
Mm-hmm.
This map, I believe this was mapped by both Nuge and Fairy, if I remember correctly.
You'd be right about that.
Two very strong tech mappers who can really make the most of some really, to be frank, really unfair tech control sections that this map shows in spades. It's a lot of control.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's played tournaments has played a tech map mapped by these two guys. I mean, they're kind of the face of tech, I feel, in tournaments. Nuge with a lot of very notorious slider aim maps, Fairy as well with, I think, a little bit more known for his more flow aim oriented tech with a lot of streams. But you mix the two of them together and you get a behemoth of a tech map with lots of difficult slider aim and aim control based on the flow aim.
Yeah. As this intro section starts to come by, neither player seems to be having any major issues. Only a tiny accuracy advantage in favor of Skrowell. But as we start to build up into that first key eye, a little bit of an initial burst to come through before we get into the storm here. And here we go. First major detections come through now. Both players still got that combo lead. Accuracy very even as well. Really hoping for somebody to drop on one of these major slider sections, especially some of those really rapid sliders that kind of come at you out of nowhere after those flow aim sections are what you're really looking at for potential slider break or that aim control on the flow aim to maybe lead to a sudden unexpected drop. But so far so good for both these players, still looking solid. Accuracy as well, still dead even. It doesn't seem to be like anybody wants to give in here. Both of them equally matched here, neck and neck on this map so far. Nobody wants to drop except for Chicony. Finally a break here just as we approach that halfway mark. Skrowell still manages to hold on. Can he hold on just past this halfway mark? It could be really essential for results to maybe get this back. The slider hell is now past. And as we get into that flow, another drop there for Chicony. Skrowell finally drops though. 50,000 banked him for now. Chicony with that reset earlier on is going to make this decently even for now.
The accuracy is going to make a huge difference here for Skrowell with a lead of about 0.5%. as long as he can hold on to a little bit of combo lead, he's going to be able to keep the advantage here over Chicony, despite the lead only being 56k. It's a lot safer than you'd expect it to be on a modded pick because of the no mod multiplier, especially when the accuracy is this low for both the players. It's going to be really hard for either of them to really bolster up their score. So the lead going up slightly more for Skrowell in this next slider section is going to do a lot of good for him as he continues to find the drops, though. Chicony will not have a window brought back open as he continues to find breaks. It looks like both players struggling massively with the back half of this map.
Yeah, the pattern starts to get a little bit more awkward and confusing. You need a little bit of reading in this section here as the sliders start to really overlap with some of the more minute sections that you really have to stay sharp on. Both these players equally either struggling or holding on to a good amount of combo here. Chicony does go down just a little bit there. Skrowell breaks not long afterwards. But it remains to be an advantage here for Skrowell. Chicony not able to build anything substantial against Skrowell. And in turn, 84,000 in the bank. And as the map starts to come to an end very, very soon, it will be Skrowell's map, it seems, as we start to get into that flame section. I really don't think there's much more Chicony can do.
All he can do is pray for a chain miss, and even then, he's going to need it to happen right now.
a lot of misses.
A lot of misses, a lot of accuracy drops, and that's just not going to happen. Skrowell looking poised as can be through the ending, hitting the final patterns, and it is going to be a 100k victory for him. And the scoreline now even 3 apiece for these two players.
Yeah, we saw some crazy early stage dominance there from Chicony at the start, but Skrowell, after that hidden 3 performance especially, seems to be revitalized once again. You know, from 3-0 to Chicony, now 3-0 Skrowell. It's back to even grounds. It's now a best of 7. What is Chicony going to utilize next? We haven't seen, since DT1, we haven't really seen any raw aim heavy maps just yet. Maybe that can change. No Mod 1 is still open, and so is the Hard Rock 1. We haven't seen a Hard Rock map picked just yet. Both these players really reserving those choices. Majority of the normals have been picked as well.
I think we're going to start to see Hard Rock pretty shortly. I think Chicony may opt into an HR3 here, although he might be a little bit wary to pick that after the result of the Flow Aim Heavy No Mod 2. But Hard Rock 3 is the next map with a lot of Flow Aim, and it also has some bursts in it, but it is also an alt map, could be very contested between these two players.
There we go.
HR1
now. Hard Rock
That's
1 here.
expected.
Yeah, I think if there was a map that we thought would be very predictable for Chicony to pick, it was going to be one of these maps. In fact, I'm surprised that it wasn't picked sooner. But honestly, actually, no, you know what? I'm lying. That's crap what I just said. No Mod 5 and No Mod 2 are way more in his favor. But still, Hard Rock 1, very predictable pick here for Chicony. Very comfortable on the Hard Rock. Always known to be that reliable Hard Rock filler for free mod maps in international 4v4 team tournaments.
But I think we've kind of reached a turning point in the match where I'm not sure if any of these picks are really going to be definitively in favor of either of these players. Both of them are going to be extremely strong on a map like this, and this is definitely something that Skrowell has the opportunity to steal away if Chicony does falter during this map.
Yeah, maybe so. As those guaranteed picks of start to come by now, the more that map pool thins, the more uncertain the choices these players make are.
Yeah, especially on such a contested skill set like aim. Both of these players would definitely try to pick this against probably anyone else in the tournament. Yeah, Yakusoku no Ao, the Toybot professional box collab map that was recently ranked a few months ago, but does not have much play count on it. I highly recommend anyone in the chat looking for an aim challenge to go check out that set. But neither player finding any break so far in the first quarter. Oh, actually, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't
it was Skrowell.
Skrowell finding an early break on this. So Chicony gonna hold quite the definitive advantage going into the first chorus.
Yeah, as we get into that first KI here, the aim is going to get emphasized a little bit more here. Chicony has to really rely on that section to hold for him. 99.69 actually definitely shows superior comfort. And Skrowell with that drop as well, only going to dig it even deeper for him so far. As we get past that first Ki, Chicony's going to be able to build and excel, especially as we get into this next verse where the difficulty starts to cool down just a bit until we get past the halfway mark where the next Ki will come back. But for Skrowell so far, it's looking solid here. Full combo still in his hands. 120,000 score as well. What can Skrowell pull here? This slow second gives him a chance to build just a little bit, and there's the break for Chicony. This might be the winner that Skrowell needs. Halfway mark especially as well. The worst time to break on a map like this. And considering this being Hard Rock 1, aim, the most gambly kind of skill set you really have. But with that opening still there, Skrowell unfortunately will trip on it and break once again. And leading to practically a combo reset here where Chicony still has 130,000 score in his favor.
Yeah, and alongside the accuracy, Skrowell is going to need Chicony to find more breaks if he wants to have a window back into this pick. And you know, that could happen. We're going into the most difficult part of the map here, the guitar solo. Lots of difficult jumps here. If Chicony were to find a break and Skrowell were to hold, there would be a window that surely opens up for him here. But he needs Chicony to find that break first, and he is just looking so poised on these jumps, still with the 99.6 accuracy. He might just be looking to coast into the ending, but there's the break that Skrowell needs. Oh, but Skrowell finds a break on the 1/3. And that's probably going to do it for this pick. There is nothing that Skrowell can really do in the last quarter now, other than hope for struggles from Chicony, but with the accuracy lead still being in his favor, Skrowell is going to be hard-pressed to find any opening here.
Yeah, Chicony just barely missing on one of the heavier aim patterns of the map, with Skrowell treading not afterwards on an outlying pattern compared to the rest of the map here. And yeah, as the ending starts to approach here, there's not really enough combo for Skrowell to really build anything. And it's not one of those maps where chain misses can make an impact here, unfortunately. Chicony is still going to play the map and still hold through. But it was definitely a close endeavor. Multiple windows there where Chicony slipped up just a little bit. And Skrowell had that combo to really back it up. 120k by the halfway mark is not a disadvantage that you can like, you know, not build from. You can improve on that, but unfortunately the time for Skrowell just not in his favor, not able to hold the combo when it really matters, and that in turn is going to lead to a solid win there from Chicony on the Hard Rock 1.
Early breaks from Skrowell gonna be making him lose this pick, I think. He would have been a lot closer had he not found that break during the beginning, but nonetheless, it is going to be a very definitive win for Chicony on that one. Over 130,000 in his favor, and now going up 4-3, he has taken the advantage back, and now ball in Skrowell's court to get this equality back. And not really sure what he's going to pick. We've still got 2 out of 3 Hard Rocks remaining. Honestly, both of them being alt maps in one form or another, but very, very different. We've got Hard Rock 2 being the precision kind of aim control alt map, but it's gonna be the hidden one. That's another pick I was looking at earlier for Skrowell, but after losing another aim map, going into something like hidden one, bit of a ballsy pick, but I think this one will suit him a lot more. Being approach rate 9, it's gonna be something that he can also abuse a weakness of Chicony on.
Yeah, it's one of those picks here. AR9 density, a pretty old style map as well. AR9 hidden snapped on top with awkward old style aim with a few sliders. The sliders in particular as well, very classic characteristic to them. And it's something that I'm sure a player like Chicony is not too well known to really be well versed in. But at the end of the day, this is still aim. And with Chicony outshining Skrowell on the hidden 2 previously, it's safe to say that the pure reading aspect isn't really something that Chicony is necessarily super weak on, at least in this matchup. You're really relying on that tiny benefit in discomfort here to benefit Skrowell. But as we get into the intro section here, both players are well poised.
And yeah, I mean, when you put approach rate 9 on 230 BPM, that creates so much density that it could start to feel a little bit like AR8 if you're not really comfortable on it. But still, I think this is something that I think we're going to see a higher baseline comfort from both of these players on when compared to something like that hidden 2. Oh, but Chicony finding the break. Oh, both players finding the break on that first aim pattern. Chicony finding a break on the kick slider jumps and Skrowell on the linear jumps to come after. Now on this slower part, both players going to be tied at the waist here.
There's a second break there from Skrowell. So a small combo advantage is now established there for Chicony. But this is a decently long map. We've got a little while left until stakes start to really get emphasized and really start to hit for these players. Chicony with another drop there. Skrowell now with the combo advantage. This is pretty even so far. It's a little tug of war in the combo lead for both of these guys, and safe to say neither of them are exceptionally confident on this. But that combo advantage still leans in favor of Skrowell by about 100 combo. Anything he can get, he really needs to benefit from, but that giant jump section is going to trip him up. And it just seems to be a tug of war so far, Miles, in these minor combos here. No one's able to build anything substantial past this first third of the map.
The awkward aim on this, catching out both of these Russian players. But slight lead going to stay in favor of Chicony by about 15,000. But another break from Skrowell, that's going to start to take it further in the direction of Chicony as he makes it through that Ki section with a combo and an accuracy lead. Chicony is going to start to add a little bit of lead here, about 30,000 already in his favor. Skrowell needs to see another break from him, but Chicony making it through that jump section. He's got another slow section to be rewarded with, and this is looking dire for Skrowell as he finds a full miss on that stream.
This is a solid adjustment here from Chicony. Struggling a little bit towards the start, but really getting his groove onto this. This map, despite being consistently uncomfortable and consistently difficult, has those small, really rapid spikes where suddenly the jumps get really wide and really, really difficult. And Chicony able to benefit from that, clearly emphasizing himself in this match at least to be the superior aim player, able to hit those patterns with ease. On top of that, being able to adjust to this hidden is really helping him out here. Skrowell, unfortunately, is starting to break a little bit, not really able to build anything, and remains uncomfortable on this. Not able to build anything big to try and fight back. Chicony's now starting to gauge a combo that's starting to become insurmountable, and the final third is starting to approach here. Chicony finally falls, but I don't know if Skrowell's going to be able to build enough considering what we've seen previously. We're going to have to see something to the equivalent of Chicony where finally the adjustment starts to really gain and these jump sections get really hard. And Skrowell, despite hitting the majority of it, will finally go down. It's unfortunate that the timing this guy has is on one of the hardest jump sections of the map, because if it was just a regular one, we might have been able to see something special.
But Chicony making the necessary adjustments on this map is really going to make the difference. That 700 combo he held with the accuracy advantage, just so huge, going to be outdoing Skrowell on this one fully. And it is going to be another breakpoint for Chicony to put himself up to match point. Scoreline 5-3 with the pick in Chicony's ballpark. It's looking very dire for Skrowell now in this match.
There's not much else Skrowell can do, unfortunately, as he just sits back and watch Chicony pull this lead away from him. And as we start to approach the ending here, 430,000 score and climbing in favor of Chicony. And it's just gonna be a slow burn from here. Chicony, with the adjustment that was necessary, proves himself to be a way more versatile player than I think some people expected here. Being able to get, honestly, not too bad of a score on a map that we didn't expect Chicony to do well on at all. Finishing off the ending, hitting those aim sections towards the end, and getting another breakpoint. One more map for Chicony to take, and it is his pick coming up next. We did say that the next picks coming up aren't nearly as certain, but this is definitely a confidence boost here for Chicony. The ball is in his park now. He's at match point.
Yeah, Chicony, man. I mean, this is the player that we see getting to the finals of Charlie tournaments. Like, this guy, I think, underrated in how well-rounded he is in these 1v1s. Just able to steal picks away from people that you don't expect him to be able to do. But that break point there going to be so huge for him. Now, with his own pick remaining, there is 2 hard rocks that I think he could look at. But if he wants to continue in the aim direction, which he's won 2 of the last maps on, he's got the Nomad 1 open if he wants to go for that. So I think lots of directions for Chicony to take here, but I think we could expect mostly to see something along the lines of one of the hard rocks or the Nomad 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think Chicony's made himself clear that he is the stronger aim player at the moment. And maybe that comfort, you know, the trifecta of the insert mod here ones for him might be what he wants to go for. Or maybe another hard rock map. Still have precision around as well. Both of these guys are mouse players, if I remember correctly. So, you know, precision a little bit, just naturally, maybe a little bit more comfortable for both of these guys. But we'll have to wait and see. Chicony has a few options. I think we have some in mind that are quite obvious here. It's likely going to be the No Mod 1, as that is the last quintessentially aim map left.
And I just realized I think I just described all of the maps available left in the pool. There are only 3 maps remaining to be
Hard Rock
picked,
3?
and it's gonna be the Hard Rock 3, the Flow Aim alt map
Ooh.
with a little bit of a finger control element in some bursts. But this is where the Demon Flow Aim comes in. It is basically all circle patterns for most of the map, but it is completely relentless in that manner. Being 3 minutes and 42 seconds of drain time, there is basically only 10 seconds of downtime in this map, so you're going to have to be consistent on the flow aim for almost 4 minutes, which is what I think makes this map really brutal.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is a classic map here from Satan. This is a very, very difficult flow aim test with Hard Rock applied on top for Corsace Closed. I mean, it just gets more and more difficult. We have seen some very impressive scores on this, but it's safe to say this is one of the more difficult ones, the more frightening ones, I'd say. But it seems to be Chicony to be the more confident one to be picking into this. I was more thinking of this map to be a Skrowell pick, in all honesty, Miles. But hey, you get surprised every day. There's the very lovely slider there. But yeah, here we go.
I mean, I think this map could go to either of these players. I mean, we saw Skrowell win the Nomad 2, which was another flow aim pick in this pool. But something like this may be just the best option Chicony had remaining. Feeling a little more confident on this than the Nomad 1, despite winning the 2 previous aim maps. Oh my god, seeing the lead flip on every node of these stars is so satisfying. Look at that.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, Chicony! He's missed one of the stars! Oh, that's not... Okay, look, that's one of those patterns, right, that are not difficult on paper for these players. These are the best players in the world. Let's remind you guys here, but those patterns still really, really scary when the stakes are high and your nerves are at an all-time high consistently for a good amount of time. You just got to keep yourself sharp, especially with Hard Rock applied. And Chicony, unfortunately, is going to fall on it, but it is traded by Skrowell not long afterwards as the key ice starts to come through, and that flame test is still amplified here. Small score advantage in favor of Skrowell going to be diminished very, very soon as Chicony finishes off that Ki with a good 300 combo in the bag. Break is shown. Chicony knows where he's at. And this little verse section, despite still being relatively difficult, is not going to be as harsh as the Ki's come through. So Chicony going to have to try and build as much as he can before that risk starts to become a little more threatening.
Oh, Skrowell finding a break after that burst, finding a slider break, and now Chicony going to be able to take the lead. But here comes the next 160 BPM star pattern. We're going to see if Chicony happens to slip up on it again. It's not a star this time. It's actually some airman jumps, but same idea. These jumps are just so stressful in a match setting. But Chicony gonna get through it unscathed this time. Gonna be able to start running his lead up a lot more with that 500 combo, but he finds the slider break. So now Skrowell has an opportunity to steal back, but he finds the break as well.
Oh no! Another pattern that was previously shown in the last maps here. As soon as Chicony slips, Skrowell is not too far to follow. Which really sucks if you're Skrowell, because you find those windows of opportunity here with the score still being really close here. It's not one of those things where Skrowell has a giant momentous task to overtake. It's only a little bit of score lead, but it's just not going to be enough here. Skrowell does have a small combo advantage by about 100, but that's not going to be enough as the difficulty starts to ramp up here. Both players are going to start trading.
Here we go.
Chicony might keep it. Here we go. Guitar solo has to come through now. Streams ramping a little bit of BPM, and difficulty just in general gets way crazier here. Those big slider jumps especially. No player still dropping, and they hit the space slider and the stream up beforehand. Both of them still looking so solid. Now the window for Skrowell is opened once again. He's got to hold on, or at least hope for Chicony to break soon. He's got to hold on for just a little bit for that advantage to solidify in his favor. 15,000 score is all that's left here. 100 combo in Skrowell's favor still to this day. The accuracy as well, so even, but he drops on the slider, and that's not a bancho break, Miles. Chicony is going to be able to take the lead and most likely win the map now. Oh no,
Oh my god. That is the last thing Skrowell could have done. Chicony holding on for just a bit longer at the ending. And it is going to be Chicony taking this match. There is no longer anything Skrowell can do. With 30k plus score of lead, actually nearing around 50k, Chicony is going to be successful in his duel against his Russian counterpart. And he is going to be moving on to the semifinals weekend.
Indeed. He will advance. For Skrowell, unfortunately, it is not the match for him. He made a very valiant effort on quite a few maps. But unfortunately, against his Russian brethren, he is the one to fall. And Chicony will triumph, advancing into the semi-final stage. Your seed 11, I believe, now has fallen in Corsace Closed.
Yep, that is going to be it for Skrowell. Seed 11 going down to Russian counterpart. Seed 14, gonna be GG well played. Gonna be a 6-3 finish for this one. Chicony finding the success on the DT, but also finding some break points on the hidden that I think was unexpected, really breaking open this match for Chicony, where Skrowell really found a lot of his success on the tech. Not gonna be the case for the entire match, despite taking the break point on the Nomad 2, but it's gonna be a good match. GG well played. The next match is going to be 22 UTC. It's going to be Intercambing versus Window Life, so be sure to stick around for that. And also, I'd like to also shout out our sponsor, Momokai. Be sure to check them out and grab the Corsace Tap Trio.
Yeah, thank you very much, Momokai. Ladies and gentlemen, go to momokai.com/Corsace to get yourself an epic keypad. Momokai have been so loyal to us, and they make such incredible stuff. I strongly recommend you give them a shot and check them out. And, ladies and gentlemen, that will be it. Oh, on top of that, one more thing. Thank you, Kay. Guys, Corsace have a manga. Did you know that, guys? Corsace is so cool. You know, it'd be even cooler if there was a manga. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, is it exclamation mark manga in chat? Let me just double check just to make sure. Yep, there you go. It is in chat just there, so please go check out the manga. It was made by some really, really passionate and really, really good artists. I strongly suggest you give it a read. It is a banger. Just like the last few matches that we've had. So feel free to take that, give it a look, and enjoy it. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be off for now. Next match will be, like Mel said before, Intercambing versus Window Life at 22 UTC. So a good while, but still, grab a snack, maybe take a small break. But until then, thank you very much. I've been Shiva, joined by Miles, and we'll see you next time.